Look at ah! Mic, guys, and it's not working.
Alright.
What the F?
Welcome back. Good morning, guys. Holy shit. We got everyone in here.
Pretty loud.
Yeah, but usually I have it at full. I don't know what's wrong with the mic.
Whoa.
We can't turn it up, though.
You have to just shut it down and come back, I guess.
No. Maybe if I do. How does that sound, though? You can hear me? What's up, Nike, Scat, Elvin, Crystal? Anyone else that's been chatting? I think that's it, hey? It sounds normal. Maybe the thing's just broken. Maybe it's just broken. Yeah, I seem very engaged, but the only thing, we took the ring in to get sized. 3 weeks. It's gone for getting sized, so I got nothing to show. I guess that's it, guys. Hey, that's better. How was everyone's week? I had an awesome week at work. I worked on Friday, which was my Monday, and I worked yesterday, which was my Friday. So it was a great week. You just skip all those other days in between.
It's true, Elvin. It's bullshit.
Yeah, I took it off.
Bullshit.
I guess they used to rush the ring sizing before, and then the insurance company got really upset with them, so now they can't rush unless
Hey
your
guys,
wedding's
she
soon.
says no ring, so it was nice knowing you guys. I will probably never see you in the future. Cool. Bye.
Nike just gave us a Twitch Prime sub. Thanks so much, Nike. How come that didn't tell us how many months? Or maybe you don't usually sub with Prime, but thanks, man. It's always been great having you a part of the Onion Squad. My coworkers were so excited. Like, the owner, Brooke, almost started crying when I told her. Like, that was the first thing she did when she got in. She's like, I'm so excited, I'm gonna start crying. And she had to, like, walk away. Omdog the Chef subscribed at tier 1. How come it's not continuing the counting for the months? I don't know what's going on. We broke it, guys. We went IRL. Doesn't want us back in the kitchen. You refreshed and it didn't give you the option. Weird. Yeah, Twitch be broked. It's broked today. It's 9 months. That's what I thought. Yeah, you guys got to watch it live. That's hilarious. It's great for me to be able to go back and watch that though too. So, Scat, I'm happy you're in here today because tomorrow we're doing your meal request stream. So the Greek lemon and egg soup. And then I also just want to do a nice little Greek salad on the side and some fresh pita. So that's going to be the stream tomorrow for you, since you gave us biddies for all of these goodies that I have sprawled out on the board. Which I think we have to fix that camera too, Sammy. I'm going to zoom in and we'll see. Yeah, we can't have nice things. Avgolamono! So much fun to say. So let's see what we got. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. So, the olive oil that you told us to pick up the first time, we tried it.
That's Elvin and Scat.
Oh yeah, it is Elvin and Scat, you sneaker. Elvin. Didn't even let it happen. So we did try this. We tried it on a little bit of trout that we grilled up the other day. Really, really good. And then our Sardinian pasta from Italy called fragola. And the way that they make this stuff is they roll it in between 2 bronze plates to like make those little pearls. So we'll cook this in a stream coming up for sure. I think I already have one this month where we use that.
So Scott says he's off tomorrow, so he go the ingredient list so you can go pick everything up.
What? Okay, sounds great. I will send you the recipe over. I believe it's on Food Network. It's like Valerie Bertinelli. But then I'll send you the recipe for the Greek salad as well. I don't know if you want to make pita. It's a little bit more intense. Our little shot glass. Oh, because we love New York. Sammy says, I miss New York this morning. But he says, I don't miss the prices. I was like, I agree. Elvin, you're not off tomorrow. Aw. Everything made it back safe. So our 4 little bowls for whatever we want, for condiments and stuff like that. The tweezers, and then the fajita plate, or like the sizzling hot plate if you're making Asian food. So these are the goodies that we get to play around with, that we brought back from New York. So thanks Scat and Elvin for making that happen. Oh, nice cookery. Yeah, some of you may have seen me buy those.
That was such a fun day. All those days were fun.
Yeah, we spent more time in the kitchen supply store than the first time we went through Times Square. Elvin, don't call us out like that. Can't help it. So today we are cooking.
This tour sucks.
So that's what we had to tell Elvin. if we weren't happy with his tour guide skills, but we never had to say it.
But it was a great tour. It did not suck.
Hi, Vune. How are you? We are back in the kitchen. It feels good. Vune's here.
Stop playing that gay game. I can't stand it.
Yeah, you know what, Cookery? I kind of had to like hold myself back because I was totally like, I want this, I want this, I want this. There was only so much room in the suitcase though. Everyone also, what's happening? Alvin!
That's why we had a third suitcase.
It's true. I didn't want to though. I didn't want to. So, Ottolenghi Simple. My mom actually got this book for me for Christmas, and I haven't cooked out of it yet. So I think it's time. It's kind of crazy how it's already March, but we'll roll with it. My birthday's in less than a week, by the way, guys. I can't believe it. Mr. Cookery would have to leave you there for 2 hours. Yeah, just go. Just go find a nice bench. I'll come find you.
I'll go back to Castelli. Another pastrami sandwich. With cheese and sauerkraut.
Nike or handlebar mustache? Sweet, dude.
Can't do it.
Yeah, we just had one last year. So, what we got going on today, I'm not going to type this recipe out for you guys. I do have the link for the book on the recipe command if you want to check it out on Amazon, but I believe that cookbooks need to be shown their justice, and there's a reason that you pay money for these recipes. So obviously I'm going to share it with you today on stream. If you are smart, you would write everything down and be like, yoink, that's mine now. But other than that, find this book on Amazon, and I think it's going to be an awesome book for us to cook out of. Like it says, it's simple stuff, which you guys know that's kind of my favorite food to cook. So portobello mushrooms with brioche and poached eggs. We're also gonna make some garlicky spinach to go in there as well. Get some nice fresh basil on top too, and maybe just a little bit of chili flakes. So Sammy mixed up the brioche dough yesterday while I was at work. Put it in the fridge overnight to proof, and I took it out this morning, and it's just kind of chilling in the oven right now, staying nice and warm. And that's going to be the first thing that we start with today, is shaping the loaf of brioche, putting it into the pan, and then we still have to wait an hour before we bake it. Bamboozled. How are you doing, iShot? Welcome in. The brioche isn't gonna work, you made it. Have faith, Sammy. Have faith. Why, when you make poached eggs, does the egg sink all the way to the bottom? Good question, Crystal. Whoa! Monastache! Subscribing for 4 months in a row! Thanks, Monastache. It's good to see you in here. It's wonderful having you a part of the Onion Squad. And thanks for the wonderful little drawing of Sammy and I. That really made my day. Yeah, yours didn't do that. I don't know what's going on with Twitch, Nike. I'm sorry, man. So, back to Crystal's question. When you make poached eggs, why does the egg sink to the bottom? So one very important factor of making poached eggs is to have your water at the right temperature. So basically just kind of simmering, just barely, because you don't want too much agitation. So you don't want it to boil, because then the egg's just going to break apart and fall apart into the water. But you also don't want the water temp too low, because then it will sink all the way to the bottom. And I've actually had eggs stick to the bottom of the pot, even in the water. So you do need a nice simmer, and my little trick, which I'll show you guys later in stream today, is to actually drop the egg, so crack the egg down the side of the pot, so then it kind of hits the bottom and comes back up into itself. Usually that's what works best for me, and I've poached like more than 30 eggs in one pot before. So it's kind of tried and true. I know everyone kind of has their secret, like swirling the water even can help, which it does, but I don't think it makes that much difference because the water's not going to swirl forever, right? So try that next time, Crystal, is break the egg down the side of the pot and you should have a lot more luck. You suck at cracking eggs, Kat. The key to cracking eggs, so most people think that cracking it on like a really thin surface, like let's say, I don't know, you had the side of a bowl or something that you're cracking your egg on, that's actually wrong. Is cracking an egg on a flat surface is actually better. You just use the basket because you suck at keeping the whites on the eggs. Yeah, it is a hard thing for sure, but you just have to keep trying it until you get it. You're drinking your coffee, Monastache. Prepping the workshop for a crafting session with Graham. Fun. That sounds like a fun Sunday. Let's get this dough. This buttery, buttery dough. So it was quite firm when I took it out of the fridge this morning. Like pretty much rock hard from all the butter in here. And so that's been in the oven since around 8:30. And I did warm the oven up a little bit as well. There's something crazy going on upstairs. Whew. So it is softened up now. And what we have to do is we just have to form it so that it will fit into just a typical loaf pan. I believe these are 4.5 inches by 8.5 inches. But basically a banana bread pan, let's say, or a coffee cake pan. So I think we'll need a little bit of flour with this as well today. Looks a little bit sticky. And making bread in those types of pans, I feel, is the easiest way to make brioche. Easier than making buns. I'm just gonna do it on this board though, so I don't get my wood board dirty. Double stream today. Awesome. Yeah, Sammy went to the duck hut yesterday. He biked there, guys. I'm just happy that they had eggs, so we'll just flour our board a little bit. You can do this right on the counter as well. Whatever you feel comfortable with. And then taking this out. So this is one of my favorite doughs to make, simply because there is so much butter that it doesn't really stick to everything that much. And one thing I did notice yesterday when I got home and saw that Sammy made the dough is it looks like the yeast wasn't fully dissolved into the dough. So we'll see if that kind of messes around with how it bakes or proofs. So there's just these like little yeasty balls throughout the dough. So we'll see, but so far it looks good. I think it's still gonna turn out. Trial and error, always. Ice, how are ya? Welcome in. So, obviously we need this round thing to fit in this rectangular pan. What we're gonna do is start to push the air out. So that's what proofing is, guys. Is your yeast is eating all the sugars in the dough and farting and building those bubbles, which the gluten holds in. I'm sorry, cookery. This is not the brioche for you. And so we're gonna get kind of a rough sizing to start. So don't go obviously too much bigger than the pan there. Kind of form it into a rectangle. That looks good. And then we're going to fold the first side over and leave kind of like an inch border. If I turn this around, you'll probably see it better. Leave like an inch on the other side and just crimp this down with your fingers. So you're kind of making a seal because you don't want to trap any air inside these layers that we're making. I don't know if you guys have ever cut into a loaf of bread before and there's just like a hole throughout the whole loaf. That's what happens if you don't crimp it down enough. And so then our next step is to bring this part back over to the other side. And you can go basically all the way. Bless you, Sammy. And then crimp that down. Just like that. And the edges, we don't really have to worry about too much. Because the way that it bakes in these pans is those sides are just going to bake into each other and you're not going to notice that. So now, because this is brioche, there's lots of fat and eggs in it. So it's a really rich dough. We don't need to spray the pan or anything like that. We're just going to transfer that. So our seam is here on the top. We're going to put that on the bottom of the pan. Just like that. Hey Ryan, how are ya? How's the weekend, man? The music's relaxing. Perfect. I don't know if this mic is working yet. No. I don't know why, but my mic button is not working on the software. I got nothing, guys. Nothing. Okay, so that's basically where we're gonna leave this. Yeah, it doesn't look perfect, but it's gonna proof up one more time before we bake it. So it is going to rise again. We'll see if it fills out the whole pan, but it will also rise more when we bake it as well. So we don't want this to dry out at this point. I always like to just put a tea towel over top. So you don't want to build a crust on the top because when that bakes it's going to crack and it's not going to look that good. You want a nice smooth crust. So cover this up and put it back either in your oven or just a nice warm place in your kitchen. You don't want to go too warm because the butter will actually start to come out of the dough if you heat it up too much. So I'm just going to put that back into our oven. And I might just heat it up a little bit more. So my little trick, basically to kind of preheat it at 350, but only let it do that for about 2 minutes. So it just kind of slightly warms up the oven and then shut it off. And you have this nice little warm proofing chamber. Yeah, what sorcery is this, Elvin? The round dough is now rectangle. Ooh, nice, Nikki, an egg scramble. We snacked on hot cross buns, which I think I'll have to work into the stream this month when we get closer to Easter. Nice, Nike. That diet sounds good, man. It's actually very surprising and almost shocking when you change your diet to like a much cleaner diet, not really processed food, as you feel so much better. Things are good, Ryan. Yeah, I just worked 2 days this week, so I worked the last 2 days. We were busy, which is really good. And now we get 3 days off. Yeah, exactly, Elvin. Hot cross buns. Hot cross buns. You know it. You know the song. Okay, so getting back to the cookbook. For those of you who are maybe just coming in, we are cooking out of Ottolenghi Simple today. sorry. Looking at my phone. Distracting shiny things. So I'm gonna read the intro to this book because I feel like intros to cookbooks really kind of help you understand the style of food that you're gonna be cooking from the book. And I always like to know also the background from why this book was created. So introductions in a cookbook, never skip that. Kind of eye-opening. And then they go through what simple means. So we'll go through that as well while we wait for our bread to proof. And then we will prep up our mushrooms, our spinach, and get our eggs ready for poaching. But we'll be able to do all of that within an hour. So I'm also going to start that timer for us. One hour. Yeah, Ice, there's no recipe for this one today because I am cooking out of a cookbook. I think we should all do our justice and buy the book. But if you want to write everything down while I'm cooking today, you can also do that. That's allowed. I couldn't find any recipe for this online either. Sometimes I cook from a cookbook where the recipe is free online as well, then I'll post it. But sadly, this book is pretty new, so I couldn't find anything yet. Intros can be important because the author may have certain assumptions they use for their recipes that won't be noted in the recipe itself. Yeah, exactly, Elvin. Like the type of salt or ingredient that might not be noted otherwise. Love it, man. So, Ottolenghi. He has, I think, 3 restaurants in London now. And he kind of focuses more on Middle Eastern type of food. This book, maybe not as much Middle Eastern influence, but I haven't really cooked from it, so I don't really know either. So what he says, there are all sorts of ways to get a meal on the table, depending on the sort of cook you are. One person's idea of cooking simply is the next person's culinary nightmare. I know I've said this on stream before where I'm making something that's probably not simple for you guys, but I'm like, yeah, it's super simple. And then you're like, what? It's not simple. So I totally understand that. When are you getting back to the pickling book? Funny you ask, Nikki, because we bought too many portobello mushrooms. So we're going to be doing some pickling probably in the next day or 2 on stream. I don't know if you've ever had pickled mushrooms, but they're actually really good. The Noma guide, I also have Saving the Season, I believe it's called. Okay, so he says, for me, for example, it's about being able to stop at my grocery store on the way home, pick up a couple of things that look good, and make something within 20 or 30 minutes of getting home. Basically, me as well. Like if I was working a day shift in a restaurant and then had to come home and cook, it would be something that I can whip up in 20 or 30 minutes. And I know most of you are the same way when you get home from work. It's like, you don't want to spend that time. Which I don't blame you. So my husband Carl, on the other hand, has a completely different idea of what simple cooking is. If we're having friends over on the weekend, he'll want to spend a good amount of time beforehand, prepping and cooking as much as he can, so that very little needs to be done when our guests are around. So there is kind of some forethought as well when you're cooking, right? A lot of times, if you prep stuff ahead of time, putting the dish together at the end only takes about 5 minutes. Let's say like a stir fry or a fried rice even. There's a lot of prep initially, but then when you cook it, it can be ready in 5 to 10 minutes. So there are other ways too. Esme, who led the recipe testing for this book, prefers to be in the garden on the weekend rather than kitchen bound. Sounds like somebody we know. Her idea of simple cooking is to put something in the oven on a Saturday morning and leave it simmering away, ready to be eaten 4 or 5 hours later. So she likes to braise stuff, which you guys know we like to braise things here too. Set it and forget it. Pickling scares you and fascinates you at the same time? How come, Scat? Pickling is much, much safer than fermenting. You like in this simple intro where Ottolenghi jokes about Ottolenghi and simple is a contradiction, right, Elvin? Matt! 9 months, my dude. Thank you so much for the resub. Give you meat. Sadly, no meat today. Do eggs count? But we will have meat tomorrow and the next day. Chicken stream tomorrow. Lamb stream on Tuesday. The Meat King Matt. Yeah, that sounds more like it, Alvin. Okay, so Tara, on the other hand, who led the writing in the book, can't really relax without knowing what a meal is. Basically ready a full day before it's due to be eaten. Sauces are in the fridge, stews are in the freezer, veggies are blanched or roasted and ready. So she does more like a meal prep thing. Does everything ahead of time, which I'm not a huge fan of because most of the time it's actually harder to properly reheat that stuff. And I don't like to just turn to a microwave. Yeah, hopefully eggs count. So I tried to get lamb ribs for stream on Tuesday and we were gonna smoke them. The butcher shop was sold out of lamb ribs, so I asked for 2 lamb racks instead with the loin on it. Sold out of lamb racks. So today I'm gonna go into town and hopefully find some nice lamb for the stream. But apparently the island's going crazy about lamb right now. Yeah, they're baby meat. Eggs are eggs, not meat. Yeah, it sounds a little bit wrong. Okay, so whatever our approach, it all looks effortless and easy when friends and family come to eat in our respective kitchens. This is only because we've worked out the way that suits us to make cooking simple, relaxing, and therefore fun. Which I know you guys have also said that before, is like I'm super relaxed in here. But I guess that's because I've done a lot of this stuff before. And I just know to not stress over stuff. If something bad happens, to me it's more fun to try and figure out how to fix it. But it is different for everyone. This idea then, that there's more than one way to get a meal on the table, and that everyone has a different idea of which way is simple, is what this book is about. Elvin, have you read this book? You have this one. And so, for anyone wondering, Ottolenghi Simple is not a contradiction in terms. He says, I know, I've seen the raised eyebrows, I've heard the jokes. The one about the reader who thought there was part of a recipe missing, as they already had all the ingredients they needed in their cupboard. Or the one that goes, just popping out to the local shop to buy the papers, milk, black garlic, and sumac, which I can't even find here. Grandma always says if you cook in a bad mood, the food will be bad. 100%. You can taste a dish that was not cooked with love. Lamb is hot right now, man. Yeah, what the heck? Hey, Nangi, both you and Sammy just got the cold shoulder from Twitch. I know you're at 9 months, man. I still appreciate you. You have the ebook. Okay, that's right, that's right. Complex cooking with 50 ingredients. hilarious. So there have been lists to make and ingredients to find, but truthfully, there's not a recipe to his name that he feels sheepish about. Cooking has always been about abundance, bounty, freshness, and surprise. 4 big words to expect from a plate of food. So a single sprig of parsley was never really going to cut the mustard. So to build on the different definitions of simplicity for different people, Tara devised a clear and practical color-coded system. The beauty of Tara's system is that it allows you, once you've figured out what kind of simple cook you are, and for what kind of simple occasion you're cooking, to select the recipes that are right for you. The bright colors are really there to help you plan meals and then make them with minimum hassle and maximum joy. I'm in. I'm in, guys. Jail cells in New York, Nike. A 1-star Yelp review. I didn't know you were on Yelp, Elvin. Okay, so simple. What this stands for. S stands for short on time. I, 10 ingredients or less. M for make ahead. P for pantry. L for lazy. Even I'm lazy sometimes. And E for easier than you think. So the recipe we're making today has both S and I. So it's for those of you who are short on time. You don't have to make your own brioche. You also don't even have to have brioche for this. Kind of any kind of crusty bread, preferably maybe a French style, would be good with this. So he doesn't actually make the brioche in this book, but you guys know that I like to make my own bread when I have time, and I also like to share that with you. So we're making our own bread, even though we're short on time. And this recipe also has 10 ingredients or less. Yeah, I is only the 9th letter. Shh, that one confused me too. I for 1? I don't know, man. I don't know. So, as with all dishes that involve eggs and toast and getting ready in the morning, this is all about timing. Ideally, you want the mushrooms and toast coming out of the oven at about the same time, and the eggs poached and ready right after that. Nobody likes cold eggs. Get the mushrooms cooking first, put the bread into the oven halfway through, and then get the eggs poaching. This works as well as a starter late in the day as it does in the morning. Use duck eggs for an extra rich twist. Yes! Finally, duck eggs in a recipe. This is the greatest.
That's awesome.
You still have the ingredients cookbook in your Amazon. Gotta get this one too. Do it up, scat. Treat yourself. I've seen those apartments, Nike. It's insane. You've been using them as well, Ryan. Nice. Yeah, they're so good in baking, hey? Yes, Crystal. Sammy biked to the duck hut yesterday while I was at work and got 3 dozen, so we should be good for at least the month. Okay, so this serves 4. I'm only gonna make 2 portions today, obviously. So we'll kind of have everything in the recipe. I'll do this for you guys. I mean, I don't even think you'll be able to read it still. But if someone wants to clip that maybe, and then you can go back and just pause it, that would be fine too. So there's the ingredients. We need portobello mushrooms, some olive oil, garlic, ground cinnamon, which is an interesting one. Salt and pepper, some basil leaves, which... Is this insane or what? That a little basil plant is cheaper than like buying the herb bunch in the store. So we have a baby basil. Can you flip the page? What you mean? Ground red pepper, which I'm gonna use Korean chili flakes. Obviously you need some slices of brioche or any style of crusty bread. We need eggs and a little bit of sour cream. There you go, Nike. Thanks, man. I mean, at least that gives you the ingredients. Hey, Era. Welcome in. And Onuris. Good morning. I was reading that. Yeah, little baby basil ice. Okay, so our first step, it says to preheat the oven to 450 Fahrenheit, so very high heat. Mix the mushrooms with 3 tablespoons of oil, the garlic, cinnamon, and salt and pepper. Spread it out on a parchment-lined baking sheet and roast for 15 minutes. Stirring after 7 minutes until soft and starting to brown. Yeah, we can roast them. I think I would rather pan fry them, but that's just me. We'll follow the recipe. I'm not gonna change it, even though I really want to. And then it says toss with the basil once it comes out of the oven and just set them aside. So while the mushrooms are cooking, mix the remaining oil, cinnamon, garlic, and pepper flake and brush that on the brioche slice. And then place that on another baking sheet. And then we're gonna toast that in the oven about 6 or 7 minutes left before it's time to eat. You want that nice golden brown, and then that's gonna help your bread not get soggy from the mushrooms. Yeah, go over to Verizon and put the show on. That would be epic, Elvin. Emu eggs, yes, Matt. Scrambled eggs for like 30 people. Did he do an emu egg quiche? What? Insane. Okay, and then all we have to do is get our poaching pot ready for our eggs. And then that's basically it. So my little thing that I'm adding today, basically just for health reasons, I like to have balanced meals to start the day, is we're just gonna make some garlicky spinach. So basically just going to wilt some spinach down in a pan with a little bit of olive oil and garlic minced. So I thought that would go really good with this. We have 43 minutes left on our timer for our bread. Here's our mushrooms. I think I'm gonna take this out now because we're gonna need our oven. You can take a little peek. It's doing stuff. It's getting bigger. It's filling out the pan. Feeling good about it.
Can I stay a bit longer?
1 egg is supposed to make 3 omelets. You did some research and they are the thing to have now. Oh no. Oh man, Matt. Maybe I'll be able to find those somewhere. Just maybe. Yeah, emus or their eggs. Yeah, right? It's like, why would you put the photo in the center? Doesn't even make sense. Good call, Mono. These are pretty nice mushrooms. I've seen worse. I've also seen better. Texas and the lower states, okay. So first thing I always do with the portobello mushrooms, which you don't actually have to do, I don't think, is I always take the stem out because it's pretty tough. And then what I do with this is like leave it in a nice dry place and actually let it dry out. And then you can use it for making broths and soups and stuff. So you don't necessarily have to throw this out. And they do come out really easily. Lucky for me, I have a dehydrator, so that's where I'm gonna put these. And the reason I'm taking them out is they're pretty woody. So they're not the greatest on the palate. You can see like they're kind of stringy too. And they don't really soften up that much. But if you feel like you would waste them, try and cut them up and cook them. I just can't promise that they'll be as good as the rest of the mushroom. Me too, I love mushrooms. Like mushrooms on toast, so good. Yeah, crabbing on the font. Don't even be sorry, Monastache. I love that you call that out. I mean, I typically call out recipes for like teaching us wrong things. So that's your profession. You're allowed to call it out. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Yeah, make a soup stock, maybe a ramen. So the way that I like to cut these, just go in half lengthwise and then chop them this way. Maybe about 1/2 inch thick. You always have to keep in mind that when you cook the mushroom is it's gonna shrink. You don't wanna cut it too thin. Then you end up with these like little paper thin weird pieces of mushroom. And portobellos have a nice firm texture, so they won't go super mushy on us either. Any hobbit would agree. Mushrooms are good for all meals. Thanks, Monastache. Yeah, you have a hydrator, Alvin, not a dehydrator. You mince yours, Matt. Yeah, mincing them are good. It's good for different applications as well. But I think mincing it would make it too mushy and make the toast soggy. That's why we want nice big pieces that we can roast in the oven. So that you still get some browning and caramelization, but it doesn't go super mushy. I think I'm just going to toss these in a bowl with the other ingredients first, and then we'll put them onto the sheet pan. And before we even do that, let's preheat our oven. The temp is 450 Fahrenheit. So nice high heat. Get a bowl for our mushrooms, a bowl for our spinach later. Get our parchment sheet. The bread is not in the oven. I took it out, Matt. It's doing good though. This is Sammy's bread. This is a Sammy brioche dough. I trust him. There is trust. Yeah, like minced mushrooms in beef Wellington. Perfect. Honoris. So parchment paper will light on fire in the oven. Usually around 500 degrees Fahrenheit. So if we bump this up 50 degrees higher, it would either just turn black or it could light on fire if it gets really close to the element. But usually 450 Fahrenheit, you're okay. These mushrooms distracted my board. A semolina bread? Oh man. Oh, wax paper? Yeah, wax paper doesn't go in the oven, guys. That will just melt and make a mess.
That is not good.
Sammy says not good.
Not good.
Okay, so olive oil, garlic, cinnamon, salt, and pepper. The cinnamon aspect in this is intriguing. Very intriguing. I know it sounds weird. Even to me, I'm like, what? So we'll see. We'll see what we think. Our garlic. I'm gonna do 3, maybe even 4 of these cloves because they're pretty sad looking. Sad garlic. Working in this kitchen again for the first time. I'm making a mess today for sure. Cinnamon on mushrooms. I don't know, Matt. I'm questioning it too. But we gotta trust. Got to trust him. Okay, that one's dried up. You missed the scimitar? It's still up there. It's still there. We haven't done a butchery stream in a while. At some point, we are going to get like a half pig. We're gonna butcher it on stream with you guys. I wanna share that. Sam and I share that with my parents. It's so much cheaper to get that than to buy the separate cuts of pork at the store all the time. And plus, butchering is fun. Really good parchment paper is used to make cannabis extracts like butter and live rosin. Yeah. Yeah, they do use parchment, Nikki. You are correct still. A half pig, yeah. Forget how much it costs. Maybe around like $250, $300. But I'm very lucky in the fact that I have access to a lot of local farmers from my work. So if one of them doesn't have one available, probably another one will. Which half, top or bottom? They actually just go right down in half. So you'll get like half of everything, right? Is you'll get a leg, a shoulder, the loin, the ribs, everything like that. Half of a head. So let's mince our garlic into here. I might even get more than this. Oh no, that looks like it'll be enough. But we will need more later for the spinach. Garlic and cinnamon mushrooms. I don't know, guys. Questioning it though. And we do really want to fully coat this with the olive oil. One thing I found with mushrooms, especially when you roast them in a hot oven, is if there's not enough oil tossed on them, is they will just start to dry out and get like papery and weird in texture. Yeah, we're not sold, Matt. But it's for science. So a good drizzle, okay, guys? The oil or like the fat aspect in a recipe is usually where I break the rules and add more. Just from experience, though. So if we give this a toss, I mean, we can also see while they're roasting if they're drying out too much. You can always add more oil. Because they really just do soak it up right away. The recipe says do 3 tablespoons, which is actually probably a right amount. You've never bought the big lots of meat, but you know that can be a really good way to get a good deal. Yeah. Yeah, so what we did is we have had this little chest freezer from when we were in Vancouver. And my parents had a freezer as well. And so we kind of just pooled our money together, got rid of the other freezers, and got a big one that the 4 of us can share and therefore have more room for stuff like that. Okay, this looks better. Looks like it's nicely coated now. So a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm just gonna do a pinch. The battery's dying. No, scat. Nike, you'd be Wagyu. You're fatty and people love you. Everyone loves fat. Yeah, I got baked cinnamon. Is that weird? Yeah, Crystal. So we live in a basement suite. My parents live upstairs. The family commune, if you will. Yeah, we're scared. We're scared, Ice. 100%. So, salt. It says 1/2 teaspoon, which I think we'll need more. Yeah, Monosash. Those little chest freezers, they work so well. And we actually lucked out because when we moved to Vancouver, the place that we were moving into is the people couldn't bring the freezer with them, so we got the freezer for free. So we never really lost any money from us getting rid of it. So we can always add more salt to the mushrooms, but you can't take it away, right? So just be cautious. We'll taste these later when they're nicely roasted. If we need more salt then we can always add more. Nice ground pepper. You had a Greek chili the other day and it had cinnamon. Yeah, they actually use cinnamon quite a lot with their meat cookery. Is one of my favorite Greek things is moussaka, which has a lot of cinnamon in it. Okay, so that's that for the mushrooms. We can now spread that out onto the parchment-lined baking sheet. It smells really nice and garlicky, with just a hint of cinnamon. Sounds weird, but yeah, we're not gonna knock it till we try it. Just gonna use my hands. It's easier. And so we want one nice even layer while roasting these. We don't want to keep them piled up because then they're just gonna steam. They're not gonna brown up nicely. So spread them out. And mushrooms do have a lot of moisture in them as well. So sometimes that can help them not dry out either. So the combination of the juices in the mushroom and the oil usually make a pretty perfect combination for roasting. So there we go, guys. Our oven is almost at temp, a couple minutes. I'm gonna pull out the spinach, and that's what we're gonna work into next. What happens when I hit 100%? Something magical, Nike. We go on another trip. Not a chance, Matt. I'm gonna be working all summer now until October, the next trip. Sammy is playing Need for Speed, and he is definitely speeding. Driving a GTR. You can't disturb him. We cut those mushrooms thick. Yeah, we did, Matt. But is he kneading? I think he did that yesterday when he made the brioche dough. Okay, so we have some spinachi. I'm going to say probably 3 good handfuls should be enough, because once again, this is an ingredient that shrinks when you cook it. So you always want to use more than you think you need. And I think that'll be good. Grabbed our red pepper flakes for garnish out as well while I was over there. Keeping it 100. Shrinkage. I love spinach. I mean, we basically have this every morning in our smoothie. So there was our oven. It's saying I'm ready. So I'm gonna put this in. For 7 minutes. And then we'll give those a little toss. And that'll be our halfway point. And then we'll see if we need more oil and what's happening in there. That's a big old bag of flakes. It is, yeah. And it's so cheap too. Like, I think this whole bag was maybe $5. Are the stems bitter or just the texture? I don't think the spinach stems are bitter, especially not this one. These are really small leaves. They're just really juicy. What is spinach? Sometimes the stems are really thick though, Matt, so I understand what you're saying. Ugh. There was a bad leaf. Bad leaf in there, guys. Now it's making me paranoid. We gotta check if there's any more. Okay, we're good. Scrum, how are ya? Welcome back. Matt. You got baby spinach in the fridge. So good. Wilty boys. Getting wilty. So, back to the garlic. More garlic, guys. We need more. I'm gonna do 2 more cloves. So we're gonna fry the garlic a little bit in oil first. Have it minced up. And then we'll add the spinach. And we'll just kind of steam it a little bit. I I like to use wine. When you steam it or kind of deglaze so that the garlic comes off of the pan, it makes the spinach a little bit saucy, if you will. But you could also just use a little bit of water or maybe some broth of sorts. But wine is always a good thing to use. So basically 2 ingredients plus oil and salt and pepper. So let's go over to the stove. We're gonna get our pan going. So let's do a nice medium-high heat. Nothing too crazy high. You don't want to burn the garlic. And just enough oil to kind of coat the bottom of the pan. Scrump, we're doing portobello mushrooms today. Portobello mushrooms. Yeah, when are we opening the New York branch of Wild Mountain? That would be amazing. Except Sammy and I were saying, like, no wonder the food costs so much there is because there's, like, not really any farming or anything around the city, right? So everything has to get brought in, which always costs more if you want it nice and fresh, right? That's the only issue that I have, Elvin. We need a helicopter or something to get the freshest ingredients. It all gets imported. Kickstart. Yeah. We need a Kickstarter for the helicopter. Love it. Okay. I'm going to take a quick look at the brioche recipe. So there's the brioche dough recipe that we're using from King Arthur flour. So to bake, place it in a 400-degree oven. So we'll have to lower the temp a little bit to bake the bread. And then it bakes for about 30 minutes. If it browns too quickly, we'll have to put some foil over it. I'm feeling good about it though, guys. And it should be 190 Fahrenheit in the center. I actually am quite fond of using a thermometer to check if bread is baked, because that's the most accurate, right? Okay, so 400, half an hour. Easy enough. Helicopters drive up the price. Yeah, the maintenance cost more than the restaurant is true, Matt. Oh, I'm still down with the food truck, Nike. You always try to save the fun, but it burns. Food truck is still in the works, man. Okay, garlic is browning up. We only want it golden. You don't want to burn it. Happens really quickly. So let's give this a stir. Nice toasty smells. One of the best smells in the kitchen, in my opinion. Okay, that looks good. You want to get the spinach in here pretty quickly. It should sizzle a little bit, like that. wine. That's going to create steam to wilt the spinach. We're just going to stir that around. Woo. Splashing. Just a little bit of salt and pepper on there. We can actually turn the pan off now. And that's it, guys. What did that take? 30 seconds? Nicely wilted. There's nothing stuck on the bottom. I just put that into a bowl to cool off. And that was also our timer for our mushrooms. So let's have a peek. Let's see what's going on. Oh yeah. They're roasting up pretty nice. They don't look super dry. I think that's really good. I don't even think that they're gonna need another 7 minutes. I might do 4 minutes and then say we're good because they're already pretty soft. So 4 more minutes. And that's that. So our little bit of spinach, remember how full the bowl was of the spinach? This is what we ended up with. And so we're gonna let this cool and then we're gonna chop it up. Because trying to eat wilted spinach like this is it kind of sticks in your teeth. And sometimes I even almost like choked on the stem. So it's always a good idea to chop that up. But we're gonna let it cool first because when we go to chop it now when it's hot, is all of the juices are still gonna come out of there. So it's kind of like when you are roasting meat or cooking a steak is you need to let it rest before you cut it. Kind of weird, but same. Hey Rogue, how are ya? Welcome in. Don't burn the garlic. Yeah, the smell is amazing in here right now, Scrump. I heard Sammy sniffed in. What? Shit on a shingle? What are you saying, Matt? Munch a bunch. Do I taste everything? Yeah. Yeah, you can taste this now. You must taste everything. Mmm. The wine is so good. It's like just adds that little bit of acidity. I feel a sneeze. Whew, excuse me. The sun is now shining through the window. It got me. The salt level on that is perfect. It was literally just a pinch. You don't need much at all. Munch a bunch. It's poor people food. Oh, here's the other one. Excuse me, guys. Whew. I'm blessed. Actually, let some fresh airs in. It's just piled on a piece of toast. Okay. Okay, so our next step. Since we're supposed to brush the brioche with like another garlicky type of oil, but I think I'm just gonna leave the brioche plain. Since we added the garlicky spinach, I don't think we need any more garlic in this recipe. So while we're waiting for the mushrooms, let's get our poaching pot ready. Really, really simple. Yeah, I love basil. Love it, Rogue. And this is what we're working with today. This little babe, little plant, costs just as much for us to buy a bunch of basil to buy this plant. So we got the little plant. Because I like plants. So we're gonna fill this pot, yeah, about halfway with warm water. Put that on the back burner. And then we're just gonna add a little bit of vinegar, white vinegar. You can also add like apple cider if you want, but I just wouldn't go too dark. Like I wouldn't go balsamic vinegar in there because it's going to color the eggs when you poach them in there. So white vinegar is the cheapest and the most mild in flavor. So literally just a splash, which in measurement terms, let's say that is a tablespoon or 2. Yeah, use squid ink. That's it. You don't want to use too much vinegar because eventually it's going to make your eggs taste sour. But if you don't use enough vinegar, then it's not going to help your egg whites coagulate and stay together. That was the oven timer for our mushrooms, which are looking really good. So those are now donezos. Got nice and dark in the oven. Look at those. Give it a little taste. Literally just a hint of cinnamon. And it's actually not bad. Cream sausage gravy on toast. Yum. And I think the seasoning on the mushrooms is perfect as well. We don't have to add any extra salt or pepper. They're maybe a little bit dry, but I'm gonna let them cool. And then we'll see if we need to add any extra oil, but I'm gonna try to not. There's a cheat. Rogue says, put the eggs into hot water for 1 minute to stiffen the white and then crack it. Ah, I have never done that or even heard of that before, but that does make sense. Interesting, Rogue. Thanks for sharing that. So that's for all of you who have not had luck poaching eggs before. Try that trick. Okay, so now our little bread loaf ready to go into the oven. I'm just gonna turn down the temp. Down to, which it actually says 350 once it's at temp. You don't want to bake brioche too high because of all the butter in there, which butter helps with browning and caramelization. So if you bake it too high, the crust is going to get really, really dark before the inside is actually baked. I'm just going to prop open the oven a little bit to cool it off. And that is basically our last thing that we have to do is bake our bread and poach our eggs. And then everything can come together. Easy peasy. So today is also National Moscow Mule Day today. I don't have the copper mugs, but we can play around with a cocktail or two today. How do you guys feel about that? You got that from the hairy bikers? Welcome back, Scat. It's gonna turn out, guys. I feel good about it. It's gonna be a good loaf of brioche. Negroni all day. I'd be down with that as well, Elvin. So, Moscow Mule, a cocktail made with vodka, spicy ginger beer, and lime juice. Garnished with a slice or wedge of lime and some mint leaves. It is a type of buck, and therefore sometimes is known as a vodka buck, which I've never heard of that before. Moscow Mule is popularly served in a copper mug. Public health advisories recommend the mugs be plated with nickel or stainless steel on the inside and the lip. Noted, guys. Variations use different liquors with the name changed appropriately. For example, if bourbon is used instead of vodka, the drink is commonly called a Kentucky Mule. Interesting. Doesn't have to use vodka, Sammy. No, the Moscow Mule. How you feeling? He's always good, he says, guys. Tequila in a Moscow Mule? Sammy. Does Sammy need a tequila, guys? Negroni, isn't that the bitter one? It's a little bit bitter. So, what is Negroni? Campari, gin, and vermouth? Or vermouth? The Mexican Mule. He's baked like the bread, Matt. Good call, man. Probably accurate. So, guess what, Elvin? This is a quote from the New York Herald Tribune from 1948. The mule was born in Manhattan, but stalled on the West Coast for the duration. The birthplace of Little Moscow was in New York's Chatham Hotel. This was back in 1941. When the first carload of Jack Morgan's Cock and Bull ginger beer was railing over the plains to give New Yorkers a happy surprise. Cool. I didn't know that it was first served in New York. I'm listening. The way that I said your name. You can believe it. You want a Mickey Mouse pancake? We should do that. Pancake drawing one day, Matt. Okay. Oven feels nice and cool. It's around the temp that we need. So I'm going to put this in. I'm going to set a 15-minute timer. So about halfway through. That way we can take a peek on it. And see if we need to adjust the temp, if we need to tint it with foil about halfway through. So 15 minutes. And then soon it will be time to eat, my friends. Nothing like fresh bread in the morning. We can also kind of start to heat up our poaching liquid as well. So I just have that on a low heat on that back burner. And that way it'll be ready to go. You can also take the eggs out of the fridge and let them come up to temp as well. And that way they'll actually cook more evenly. Because if you have a really cold egg, obviously it's going to cook from the outside in. And the inside is going to take a lot longer to cook than the outside, right? So if you let them warm up a little bit before you poach them, you'll get a more even cook. Yeah, concrete jungle where drinks are made from. You thought the meal just meant the copper mug. Apparently not, Scat. Rogue, poached eggs, basil on toast is a winner any day. Add ham and hollandaise, heck yeah. Hollandaise on everything. Yoni Noni, thank you for the follow and welcome in. Yoni Noni. So, the wonderful duck eggies. I see Sammy has gotten into the carton already.
Well, how do I make brioche?
How does he make brioche, guys? The answer! He's so upset right now.
Upset?
So Sammy's gonna have 2 eggs, I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna have 1. We're gonna carry on.
Well, yeah.
I thought maybe you had to just taste test them before we cooked with them.
I would have done that too.
We still have the Matt command. This is a wedding present for you, man. Sammy needs 3. He's a growing boy. Well,
No, it is 3 eggs.
it is 3 chicken eggs, though. Each duck egg is 1.5 chicken eggs. Insane. I also heart eggs. While we wait, our spinach should be nice and cooled off by this time, so we'll just give it a nice little chop. Are you gonna acknowledge me? Yes, guys, egg puns. Let's do it. Just a little rough chop. I usually like to just make a line and then go over it maybe once or twice. Smells so nice, roasty, toasty, garlicky. It's gonna be so good. And I can actually confirm that mushrooms on toast was like the one dish that made me not gross out over runny egg yolks. I think that's what broke down my egg yolk barrier, guys. Because the way that I had it served to me at one of my favorite restaurants back in Edmonton was they just did the egg yolk on top of the mushrooms. So they didn't actually cook it. So it was raw. And then you kind of just mixed the yolk in with everything and made it nice and saucy. That's when I kind of started to realize how awesome egg yolk is when it's runny. You hate soggy bread. Me too, man. Do I mix ever? Yeah, we can mix. I mean, Sammy's not a huge scrambled egg fan. And we actually don't have any chicken eggs left. 2 chicken and 1 duck egg. Yeah, your doctor doesn't. Everything in moderation, though. Egg yolk raw, isn't that like the #1 thing not to do? That's what they say, Bonuris. That's what they say. But the funny part is like every restaurant does that. It is exactly what mayo is made from. Is you're making an emulsion with raw egg yolk and oil. So basically, if you're eating mayo, you're eating raw egg yolk. But sorry, guys. But yeah, a lot of restaurants like to garnish dishes with raw egg yolk. And I don't know why, but you don't really get shut down for it. Yeah, mayo's ruined. I'm sorry. But that's the truth, bomb. Obviously, if your eggs are bad, you wouldn't do that. But you wouldn't eat the bad egg anyways. So nice fresh eggs. I don't think you guys should worry about it. It's kind of the same thing if you've ever had a beef tartare, is they usually put a raw egg yolk on top. Yeah, with raw beef. It's like, that's the epitome of everything that's wrong. But they still sell it and we still eat it.
It's so good.
Matt, I believe I've seen a bacon mayo. I think we might have that here. Doubling down on the raws. Quail eggs are a pain in the butt, Scat. Sammy has nightmares from that. And I don't like to use them very much either. Hey, Mikey! Welcome back, man. Things are good. How are you doing? It's good to be back in the kitchen with you guys. Cooking up some breakfast this morning. Got some brioche bread, bacon in the oven, and basically the rest of our stuff is all prepped and ready to go. I know, yeah, I took some time off when we got back just to kind of get back into the swing of things. Get my head out of vacation mode and ready for work.
And have to get back to normal.
Yeah.
We had a flight and a half.
Yeah, it was a rough time trying to get home, guys. Did you see how many boarding passes we ended up with? Because our flights got changed so many times. You made a Sunday roast, nice, like a beef roast with potatoes and stuff. Basically, yeah, quail eggs are mostly for garnish. I have seen someone do deviled eggs with quail eggs and it just hurt my brain too much. The amount of time that would take is like trying to get into a quail egg without breaking the yolk in there is one of the hardest things ever. Like you have to pierce it with a paring knife and then like gently peel the shell out and hope that you didn't break the yolk. And then you have to get it into something. So like pour it into a bowl and hope that the yolk doesn't break. So they're super delicate and hard to work with.
I did it for brunch when you weren't there yet with Sean.
Yeah, Sammy had to do quail eggs on brunch. So you were doing them, what, sunny side up?
Yeah.
Sunny side up quail egg for a garnish. No!
I broke so many quail eggs.
What kind of beef did they use to make tartare? The most flavorful tartare uses like a chuck cut. So like kind of like a roast cut, something more actually tough, because that's where you get your flavor from. But the most tender cut of beef to use for tartare is definitely tenderloin. But it's obviously the most expensive as well, so kind of a waste of money to just chop it up like that. Chicken roast with potatoes, nom. That sounds so good. Gravy with red wine. Look at this guy go. Like he's just cooking up a storm. I want that. Zobocat, welcome in. Thanks for the follow. Deviled eggs with quail eggs. Yeah, sounds terrifying, right, Elvin? A fillet. Yeah, that's what Sammy calls it too. It's fillet, not tenderloin. It's the same thing.
No.
It's the same.
No.
Peeking on the bread. Oh, it's rising, guys. It's working.
Yay.
Good morning, Steam. How are you? Thanks, Zobocat. Yeah, I got my Simpsons shirt on today. Sunday fun day. We're having fun. Mikey, yesterday you made salmon with rice. Yum. Salmon is so good with rice, especially if it's like a nice fatty salmon. A fillet is one piece or part of the tenderloin. Okay, fine. Yes, Elvin. Chicken tikka masala. Did you make a bunch so that you have lunches for the week? Tig girl, good morning. Welcome in, guys. So good to see you. You like cooking fish. Nice, Mikey. Lots of people are scared to cook fish. So that's awesome that you like doing that. That means you're comfortable with it. The Scottish food, y'all. You have quail eggs in the fridge. You're plotting what you'll do with them. Usually soft boil and marinate. Ooh, I like that. I think I've seen them done that way before and then marinated in like a beet juice so that the white turns like this crazy pink purple hue. But do you usually marinate in like a soy style marinade? You're set for 3 days. That's perfect, Elvin. 3 days of chicken tikka masala. There's nothing wrong with that. Scat, that's the only Indian food you've tried. That's a good place to start for Indian food. That's like the most mild and most appealing to everyone. Doesn't have a lot of spice in it. Basically every other curry has a fair amount of spice in it, like heat-wise. Matt with the fun facts. Beef tenderloin is the name of the large cut of beef before it's sliced into steak. Once it is cut into steaks, those steaks are known by the French name filet mignon. Oh, goodness. It's literally the same thing, though.
Thanks, bro.
But a knife touches it, and then it has a whole different name.
Yep.
Yeah, literally right and wrong, all at once. Steampunk with the 8-month resub. Amazing. Thank you so much, man. You know what? It's been great having you in our community and helping grow it. That means a lot. Miso, soy, maple, mirin, and maple syrup. Oh, that sounds amazing. I love that you use maple syrup, Tig.
We met them 5 months ago already.
That was 5 months ago? Holy shit.
Crazy.
We are cooking. We're waiting for the bread to bake. And then we'll poach our eggs and put our toasty toast together. Sammy. We'll make it super easy and quick though. For when the bread comes out. That way all we have to do is toast it up. I will say this as well, guys, is not a lot of dishes from this meal, which I like. We're all about saving time in the cleanup, aren't we? We got that. Put that away. Okay, timer is about to go off. That was our 15-minute mark. So, this is where we're at. It's rising. It's kind of cracking on the side there, if you can see that, which is good. I think it definitely needs another 15 though. There's barely any color on that yet, so I feel comfortable with doing probably like 13 minutes. What? Steam gifted a tier 1 sub to Zobo Cat. Welcome to the Onion Squad, Zobo Cat. Hope you enjoy your stay. Feel free to use your onion emote wherever you desire. Oh, they are for sure moving to the Seattle area now. Amazing. I didn't know. I haven't been able to tune in that much. Thanks for giving me the heads up, Tig. That's going to be awesome. We'll have to do a little meetup of sorts then, for sure. Just a little hop, skip, and a jump over there for us.
Oh yeah, we can easily take the clipper over.
Yeah.
Take Carol and Steve to head out and we can all have a
Yeah.
meetup.
Mikey, this is what we're making. Mushrooms on brioche toast with poached eggs. I also made some garlicky spinach to go on there. it also has a little bit of sour cream, which, I'm sorry guys, but the only sour cream we have is smoked. And I think that's gonna work really well for this, actually. Oh, of course, Monastache. I don't blame ya. I'm like that as well. It's like, I usually don't tell anyone what's happening until I know for sure. Because like, sometimes the excitement from other people can be overwhelming for you. So I feel ya. Keep an eye on Zobo. What? Okay. An up-and-coming cook. I am opening their page right now. And I'm gonna give Zobo a follow. Done and done. Now, got my eye on you, Zobo. Thanks for letting me know, Steam. Yeah, we're garlicky today for sure, Anuris. Regular sour cream. Thanks. Dad with the save. Regular sour cream. Oh, it's not even opened yet. Thanks. Pashi, what did you think? Guys, Doggo had a bath. She's rolling around without a collar. She's naked.
I love how the collar's still there though.
Pashi. Come here. Come here. What's this? We got Doggo. Come here. Come on. She just had a bath. Her feet are clean. Plus, we're not cutting anything else on here today. We saved the lid scrapage. Thanks for noticing, Anuris. Left coast, not the right coast. You gotta make your way over, Elvin. Holy. There were no spoons left.
I told you to do a lot of dishes.
Hey, let's heat our water up. We're gonna poach our eggs in about 5 minutes from now, I think. So we're almost there, guys. All we have to do is slice our bread and toast it. Perfect. Yeah, I'm excited to teach you guys how to poach the eggs today. We've done it before on stream. It's never too late to do it again. Give him a 3-star rating instead of our 1-star rating.
Elvin's place?
Yeah.
Easily a 1.5.
Oh, wow. What is that processed crap? Hey, Eric, how are ya?
What processed crap?
I don't know. What are you talking about, Ro? Why are we doing tequila shots?
Tequila.
Okay, I'm gonna have some lime with it today, I think. Ah, what was that?
I don't know.
See what you guys have done to Sammy? Making him drink. Ugh. Why do we always have tequila before breakfast on Sundays?
Why
Is
not?
this a ritual now?
Why not?
I don't know.
You need lime?
Lime. Limey. Rook!
See?
You're here for the booze. I was told there would be booze. You're the best, man. How are you doing? Better than coffee? I don't know. I quite enjoy coffee.
Cheers.
Cheers. We're back. We made it back to Canada. Rose got vodka. Tequila is the only alcohol that's an upper, by the way, guys.
Yeah, it's so healthy.
Every other alcohol is a downer. So, there's a reason why it makes most of us crazy. But that way you're not going to, like, come down from it. It'll just keep you nice and happy. You're welcome, by the way. If that gives you a reason to drink. They would just knock you out, Monostache. Yeah, I'm not super good with alcohol, but for some reason the tequila is okay.
How's the bread looking?
Mikey, you're always crazy. It's alright, Sammy. What are you doing? It's browning.
Hey.
It's baking. Sammy's excited for his bread. The moosh is loose. The Scaramouche. How are you today, Scaramouche? It's good to see you. Nikki, you drank 4 tall cans last night and you don't usually drink, but it was a good time and worth it. Exactly. It's like, I definitely don't drink all the time, but there are some moments or some occasions where it's good. It feels good, right? That's Steam's drink of choice. Schlafly? Schlafly? White lager? Never heard of it. Isn't tequila also partially processed by your kidneys? That I do not know, Scat. But now I am intrigued. Scaramouche, you had a dream that we were live streaming from Vancouver and there were lobsters the size of small horses in the water. Tell me it wasn't just a dream and that it's real. I wish. That's hilarious.
Sounds like a really cool dream, so I'm gonna say it's real.
Yeah, now we have to go and find out. Schlafly. Schlafly. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, Nike. Schlafly. I'll just stop while I'm ahead. Vancouver is famous for their seafood. You thought it might have been real. So lobsters are actually an East Coast thing, though. Sadly. But we will get some lobsters flown in from my aunt and uncle who live on the East Coast in St. John's. So when it's lobster season, we will get lobsters to cook up with you guys on stream. It just doesn't make sense for us to buy like frozen lobster tails here because they're so expensive. And plus they're not fresh. You really want fresh seafood for the best flavor and quality. Aren't there Pacific lobsters? I don't know. There is?
Spiny.
Ah, the spiny ones, but they don't have that much meat, right?
They have big tails, but not big
No claws. Okay.
Atlantic lobsters have big claws and big tails.
Small and big tails. Okay.
But yeah, spiny lobsters are
Expensive.
Yeah, they're also in the Pacific. That's
Okay. Now we know. So you can actually get lobsters flown in. Is they like pack them with ice and stuff in styrofoam, and they'll arrive basically the same day. How much would it cost, Sammy? I forget. I don't think I know. But my aunt said it's cheaper than us buying it here, which is kind of shocking. Okay, our water is almost there. Our bread is almost baked. We'll let it rest for a couple minutes before we cut into it. That way we don't disturb it too much. Streamers are all saying okay. I was the first one who said okay, Rogue. Okay. Lobster is flown in same day with the official Cook with Kate helicopter. There we go, Elvin. Now you're talking. So how much does a Maine lobster cost in Vancouver? I think we could get 2 lobster tails for $10 or something was a sale I saw the other week. I'm not sure per pound.
$25 a pound.
$25 a pound?
Yeah.
Whew. That's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Considering most fish, I think we're paying around like $5 or $6 a pound for fresh fish. Is that correct, Sammy?
Yeah, like sable fish is $13 a pound. That's probably the most expensive.
Yeah, for live lobster. Maine lobster is cheap. That was just actually lobster tail skirmish. So 2 lobster tails for $10 or $25 a pound for fresh. But like that's the thing though is yes, they're sitting in those tanks and they look fresh, but how fresh are they actually, right? That's what I always question when I go to the supermarket. It's like for me, I have to be smart enough to know that that is not worth my money. Even though it's delicious and I want to eat it, I'd rather wait for the good stuff. Being out here, Steam, I'm gonna choose crab over lobster any day. The crab out here is amazing. Just quickly boil it, cool it down. I like to eat it cold and then dip it in warm butter. It's the simple things. Wait for it. Okay, so that was half an hour. This bread is interesting, we'll say that. It's got like an ear on it. I don't know what's going on, but we'll quickly take the internal temp to make sure it's fully cooked. Then while it rests, we'll poach our eggs. So we're looking for 190 Fahrenheit in the center. It's actually only at 150. So a couple more minutes, I think. We'll do 3 more minutes, and then it should be good. We'll let it rest up and then slice it. You agree, Steam? Yes. Live lobster is generally around $10 to $15 US in New York. I think that's about accurate. I don't know, Sammy, do you remember seeing the prices at Chelsea Market?
Yeah, it was $60 for a 2.5 pound lobster there.
$60 for 2.5 pound lobster.
Actually, give me 10 seconds and I'll find out the
Is this the design or is it full of salt? Nope, this is the design, so it's kind of like speckled, pockmarked. I believe it's Puttyfoot.
Yeah.
Is the brand. Chelsea Market, yeah, we were just there. Things are more expensive there. I wasn't falling for it. The only thing I ate there was a taco from Los Tacos #1, and it was actually really, really good. Okay. We are boiling. Just gonna turn that down a bit. Let that water simmer down, if you will. So not too much agitation. We will get our slotted spoon, as well as a plate with some paper towel on it. Almost there. I think that's about right. So just that little bit of bubbling in the center, because keep in mind when you drop your eggs into the water is it's going to cool the water off a little bit. So to have it a little bit higher when you first drop the eggs in is perfect. And then like I said, drop it down the side of the pot. This one like stuck in the shell. Whew, that's a fresh egg, holy. And then it should just nicely coagulate together. Obviously you're gonna still have that little bit of stringy stuff. A little bit of stringy egg whites. But for the most part, the egg whites should stay together. This one doesn't even want to come out of the shell. We're just gonna turn that up a touch. That's our bread. You can disturb this a touch. So that one egg, probably not going to be the nicest. These other two though, I think they're going to turn out really well. You ate at Chelsea Market, Monastache, just from a little grocery store that had some fancy cheese. Cheese and a fancy cider, less than $10. That's pretty good price. Okay. Bread is very nice and crusty.
You know what we should play tonight with everyone?
What?
Zelda.
Play some Zelda tonight?
Yeah. Or Overcooked.
Sammy makes a dense bread. So this is the first egg we dropped in. So see how the water's not really doing much. The eggs staying together. The white's not cooked enough yet. Obviously duck eggs are larger than chicken eggs, so they will take a little bit longer to cook. We did put vinegar in there, Eric. Exactly, man. About 2 tablespoons worth. You're a glutton for the donuttery. We had a donut from the donut plant. It was pretty good. Parsippany? Parsippany? I love the name of that place. Sam, you want to come slice the bread in a minute or two?
Sure.
So when your egg white spreads out more, it's not going to take as long to cook. You can tell that. So the yolk on this one, look at the color of it. It's already basically cooked. Compared to this one, which is probably going to take about double the amount of time to cook. But we still want a nice runny yolk. So we just have to be aware. Yes, Anuris. Oh, you should totally go check it out. Yeah, we got the coconut donut. But we also didn't eat it for like 3 days. I feel like it wasn't quite coconutty enough. But that's just me. But the donut itself was really, really good. It was nice and fluffy. Okay, that's feeling good. Still getting a nice soft yolk for the salmon. This one is soft. And the egg white is firm. We're good there. I'm gonna let that go maybe our bread. I don't know why it rose crazy like that in the oven. We'll carry on though. So it's just been resting a minute or two on the rack. It should rest for longer, but we want to eat. We gots to eat. So let's get in here. I think to make this size of toast big enough is I'm gonna cut it on a bias. Sammy made a brioche. I need to make this first. You can slice it while I'm building. Pretty delicate. So maybe one thing I will say, ooh, we're also not supposed to cut this while it's hot, which is why it's kind of crumbling together like that. So maybe the dough wasn't mixed enough. And obviously the yeast wasn't dissolved. But hey, we still made a bread. It was Sammy's first brioche. She'll be alright. But it shouldn't be that crumbly. So to me this looks more like a quick bread than like a proper brioche. But as long as you learn from your mistakes, I think that's all that matters.
Tastes good.
It does taste good, of course. So basically this is what happens when you cut hot bread, is you're disturbing the crumb and it gets kind of gluey like that because it's still warm, right? It's steaming. So usually you have to wait about half an hour at least before you cut into bread. We ain't waiting though. Okay, so now I'm just gonna stick these little slices under the broiler quickly. Get some toasty toast action on there, and that way we won't have soggy bread. And brioche toasts a lot quicker than other breads just because of the amount of butter in there. So really make sure you're watching that. We have our eggs, guys. So look at, like this is the egg where the white did not coagulate. So that's why that looks like that. This one is okay. The egg whites stayed together pretty well. But in my mind, like this is the perfect little poached egg. Everything is just contained. Disturbing the Crumb, the name of your new band. We poaching yet? Yeah, we just finished, man. So close. Maybe one more minute and we'll build this. It is time, my friends. You see that split brioche. It wasn't me, Strike None. Sammy made the dough. I am innocent. All I did was shape it and bake it. But there, like, you could see the little yeast pieces in the dough. So I knew that it wouldn't turn out that well. But we never gave up. Right, guys? We weren't giving up on it. I think he just didn't dissolve the yeast enough. And also didn't mix it enough. That's my guesstimation. Because it's too soft. Like, I can barely even pick it up. It's a little bit scary. Okay, finally. So I'm gonna do garlicky spinach down first. Handful of our mushrooms, roasted with garlic and, dare I say, cinnamon. It's actually surprisingly good. So we want to make a nice bed for our egg though, right? So kind of push that down. And then I think I'm gonna go over top of this with the little bit of sour cream that he calls for. Just like under the egg to kind of hold it in place. This creamy aspect is interesting though. Fish turner for bread, you do the same. Yes. As long as it tastes good, who cares what it looks like? Unless you're the boss. Yeah, exactly, Strikenet. It does taste good though. It did turn out well. So I'm actually gonna do this egg. It's a little bit softer. Peel that off. I think I'm doing okay. I'm gonna try and make it look like the photo. Now our fresh basil. Just gonna tear that. Kind of put it in underneath as well. Then we can tear some pieces on top and around. You can't wait for the yolk to explode. We're almost there, guys. The golden love. And then just our red chili flakes on top. So a little bit of spice to cut all that richness, right? And then I also think I might just drizzle some of that really nice olive oil over top. I feel like it might need it. Thanks for the follow, Kevin. Welcome in. You want hollandaise. Oh, yeah, this would be really good with hollandaise too. But no eggs, Benny, today. Like a so. How good does that look, guys? Yeah, put another piece of bread. And that's a burger. Okay, quick photo. You guys know the drill. This way.
Freezer's gone.
Nice, Sammy. Maybe this way. Okay. Time for the egg explosion. You guys ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Da-na-na. Hey, Thule, how are you? Oh, God. It's running. Mmm. That olive oil, really good on there. I need a knife as well, I think. You need a knife? I feel like maybe we should have heated up the mushrooms, but I was hoping that the residual heat from both the egg and the bread would kind of heat this stuff up. Now it just looks like a mess. And we're okay with that. Thule is also Team New York. Yes. Okay, so let's try a piece of egg, some mushroom and spinach. Oh gosh. And a piece of toast. Definitely messy. The cinnamon in the mushrooms is actually really good. It doesn't weird me out that much. I really like the crunch from the crust on the brioche. The dream cream, thank you for that clip, Nike. I'll post that on Instagram. Where professional West Coast Canadian chefs make food for a New York audience. Pretty accurate. You're just eating, not saying anything? Mm-hmm. Okay. Sammy's here. The egg yolk makes a really nice sauce for everything as well. Good brioche, Sammy. Yeah, accurate, except for the professional part. Thanks, Matt. I really like the fresh basil as well. Did you get any basil? Sammy's not having any basil. He says nope. That olive oil is actually really strong in flavor. I have to be careful with what I use it with because it's almost overpowering. Talk shit about his bread behind his back all stream. He already knew it. I called him out on it last night, but I was like, it'll be fine. We got this, Sammy. It's true, he says. Basil is for wearing, not eating. It's just the green stuff, right? Get him a shovel spoon, Matt. Get Sammy the shovel spoon. He does okay with the fork and knife as well. Either way, it's gone in 60 seconds. Make Sammy a stream with that title. Gone in 60 seconds. Holy Matt. Yeah, you're in trouble. This is what you need, Sammy. I love it. It's actually really cute. That is a shovel spoon.
So Caitlin's birthday's on Friday. Coming up.
And I'll be at work.
And she has to work. But I have to clean a brisket.
Brisket stream next Sunday, guys. Brisket stream. Brisket stream. Hello?
Did you get cream bananas yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to the store. You need anything?
No, we're good.
Those are so big. That's why I think
Yeah. Hey, Caleb. I think the thrifty job or save-on job would be perfect for your mom.
online shopper.
That'd be fun. Then you
I
get
said I
your
would
shopping fix.
I said I would do it. She would pack everything. I would deliver it all.
You guys see Doggo. Doggo. What you think? Are you happy? Go see, Mom. Go see. She can't. She is adorbed. She's the best. On Hitch's stream today, he said he needed some posh cuddles today. That was so cute. Yeah, the tail's just going. Are you happy? Are you happy, Popper?
Egg. Ready?
If you let that hit the floor.
Good.
No! No wonder she loves Sammy more, hey? Just snacks forever. Okay, guys. We did it. Shall we go raid someone? This was delicious. Hopefully, taught you guys how to poach eggs.
Mushrooms were a little tough.
The mushrooms are a little tough, I agree.
No, why?
But we didn't even roast them for the full amount of time.
I would
maybe-
saute them instead of roasting them then.
I wanted to make that call. Can you guys please confirm? I did not want to roast them in the oven. I wanted to pan fry. And I said, I'm just going to follow the recipe. For once in my life, follow the recipe.
But it gave the dish contrast for the soft egg. You know,
Like some
and,
texture.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Did you like
Personal.
the addition of spinach?
I liked it. Yeah, both the spinach was awesome. It gave a lot of flavor to the egg and the brioche itself. You didn't need any more butter. I think the duck egg was almost too custardy.
Yeah.
Especially with the atomic butters and that brioche.
Yeah.
Uh,
Holy shit. Ah! We gotta raid when we're going to raid someone. No! Ratani, thank you so much for the host. Welcome in, guys. We're just finishing up some cookbook cookery. So we made mushrooms on toast. We made a homemade brioche bread with roasted portobello mushrooms, some garlicky spinach, and a poached duck egg that got garnished with some fresh basil and chili flakes. Yeah, oopsies. Welcome in, Frog. Take a bite. Sure. Just kind of finishing up, because it is actually really filling. This is what Sammy made. A nice little brioche loaf. It's even good cold. Thanks for the follow, Blurg Sauce. Do you guys have any recommendations of people to rate? I know there was a Canadian singer
Hitch is on right now.
that we were supposed to raid. No, Hitch is on?
Yeah, Scaramouche suggested last time, didn't he?
Food Experiment is on as well. Is he still on, Hitch?
I'm pretty sure he's on. Claire Coffee's still on.
Okay, we'll go do Claire. Show her some love, because she rated us last time.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Riteni, to be a buzzkill, but I will be back streaming tomorrow, and we're actually streaming lunch. We are doing a viewer request for Scat 434.
I'm not doing anything.
Making some Greek food. So avgolemono, which is a lemon and egg drop soup, as well as a Greek salad and fresh pitas. You're the producer for this show. That is so cool. Like, I am my own producer. I wish I had that.
Hey,
But I guess I'm not quite there yet. Ratani is definitely something to look up to. So thanks, Ruxel. Yeah, Matt's the producer. Okay, we're gonna go raid Claire _coffee. A wonderful girl from the Netherlands who also cooks. So spreading the love throughout the community today, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. I will be on, I think I put the time for 11 a.m. PST. So keep that in mind. Yeah, there is rice, I believe, in it, Elvin. Matt, you won't be here. Okay. We're going in, guys. Thanks so much for the resubs today and the gifted subs and all the new follows. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. About to go run a couple of errands today. Go find some lamb for Tuesday's stream.
Want to hunt down Hitch real quick?
Yeah, we'll hunt down Hitch. Bye, guys. Take care. Love you all.